Good day, good day, good day. Welcome to another live with Marquis Brain. So excited that you are with me today for another live. We're streaming across all multiple platforms today. So let me just make sure that we are good and that everything is going the way that they should go. Because technology sometimes does not always work the way that you want it to work. But today I want to talk to you about how to create content that converts and strengthen your online voice. How to create content that converts and strengthen your online voice. And I just wanted to kind of share this with you because many people, are interested in really leveraging their personal brand online and developing their brand and business, leveraging the skills and talents that they have. And I thought this would be a great topic to talk about. For those of you who are joining for the very first time, I am Marquis Brayton, personal brand strategist, speaker, and the podcast host of the Maximize Your Brand podcast, as well as the Empower Show. And I am always excited about helping individuals to learn how to leverage their expertise and skills online as a business through the power of personal branding. And today, once again, we're going to be talking about how to create content that converts and strengthen your voice online. Sometimes you have to get it right. But strengthening your voice online, creating content to help provide value to people is such a valuable asset today in this digital world that we live in. There's so many people who are winning by leveraging their skills, leveraging their gifts, their talents online by providing value to other people, doing it, from quilting, from doing things that you have as a hobby, but you have an expertise in that is helping people leverage. I was listening to a YouTube show today where there are individuals who transition into the tech space and now they're teaching others how to transition from their current careers into tech sales or into coding or cybersecurity. And so there's so many ways for you to be able to leverage your knowledge and your expertise online. And one of those ways is leveraging social media, using social media to create content like I do each and every week when I'm doing my live streams or when I'm podcasting. And there is a process to it all. There is a systematic process to it all. And I want to share one of these processes to you that I learned and gleaned from one of my mentors and someone whom I follow by the name of Paul C. Brunson. He's a great digital marketer, great influencer, someone who is a wonderful content creator who has the ability to build audiences and who has created a brand for himself that allows him to live abroad with his family and provide for his family just through content creation, as well as been on television as well. But he has this process called TUC, TUC. And he calls it the targeted unmissable content. TUC, TUC, targeted unmissable content. And basically, the TUC process that Paul talks about helps you to really engage the algorithm online. So everybody knows that there's an algorithm for TikTok, there's an algorithm for Facebook, there's an algorithm for Instagram, and people are always trying to figure out how to master the algorithm so that their content can get in front of individuals. And in this particular content that he shared some ways in order for you to really engage the algorithm and really began to use the algorithm in your favor. And here's some things that he shared that will help you to positively impact the algorithm. One of the things that you can do if you're really wanting to get your content seen by as many people as possible, first you got to share content. First you got to create and share the content, which is why I go live each and every week, just sharing content that I believe would be valuable to help you learn how to build a personal brand and then create a business around your brand, which is your skills, your talents, your expertise, so that you can sell the products and services that you have to offer. So first, you got to share the content. And so many people have hangups around promoting themselves and putting themselves out there to share the content. So it's so important that you first do that. But that also helps you to begin to get in the algorithm, right? So that people see your content, they can click on your content, they can watch your videos, so on and so forth. The next thing that helps to get into the algorithm and spread your content is people watching more than 3 seconds of your video. That your video or your content is so engaging, particularly video, that they're watching more than 3 seconds. So they say it takes that people only stay on your content or your video for about 3 seconds. And if you can't capture them in that 3 seconds, then you typically lose them. So you want to make sure that intro and that opening statement is engaging enough to grab their attention so that they are watching for more than 3 seconds. And right now we're just talking about how do I really engage the algorithm. If you're just joining via podcast or via live stream, we're talking about how to create content that converts and strengthen your voice online. Another way to really get into the algorithm is saving content. So if individuals are saving your videos because you're providing so much value, right? You're providing so much value that they're saving your videos. So what's going to end up happening is that Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, what have you, they're going to show more of your content to these individuals because they're saving your content or saving your videos to come back to it, to watch it later. Have you ever saved a video or engaged with a video and noticed that on your feed, these videos or this content from that particular creator ends up showing up in your feed? I was just talking to a friend of mine just a few minutes ago before this live, and he was saying that a particular TV person came into the store and he looked up the person via social media, and then all of a sudden their content started showing up in their feed. Why? Because he looked up that person via social media. Another way to engage the algorithm, for people to engage the algorithm and get your content, is they're reacting to your content. They're clicking heart or what have you, sharing with the social media platform that they are enjoying your content or that they're engaged with your content. And lastly, commenting on your content. But I learned this as well. You commenting on others' content also can be engaging as well to engage the algorithm. And so first we have to understand that all these platforms have an algorithm, and the algorithm is simply technology that tracks your behavior or your habit on social media or really on the internet, right? Because you'll notice that you'll start seeing certain ads as well when you're just on Google based on things that you may have purchased online. Now, having shared that and knowing, okay, now we have this algorithm, how do I start to engage people where they're sharing my content, where they're watching more than 3 seconds of my video, where they're saving my content, they're reacting the content by clicking heart, what have you, and they're commenting? How do I engage them in a way that they're doing all of those things? Well, I'm glad you asked. And so we're going to talk briefly about this TUC method that I learned from Paul C. Brunson. And TUC, once again, stands for Targeted Unmissable Content. By show of hands in the comments, how many of you heard of the stop the scroll, where you're scrolling on social media and you see something that's so engaging that you stop to learn more about what that person is talking about. Well, that is considered unmissable content. Targeted, unmissable content. And so let's go through this process. So TUC, unmissable content. And he gives us a breakdown of how to make sure that you create targeted, unmissable content. And here's the breakdown. You want to test, you want to listen, you want to iterate, and then you want to level up. Let me go through it again. You want to test. You want to put your content out that you can test. You want to see what's engaging for people. If you were to go to your social media pages on any other platforms, what have you found to be the most engaging type of content that people have clicked on, people have liked, people have commented on? For me, I noticed that lifestyle type content, anytime I give people a behind the scenes or anytime I do something that's inspirational face to camera, has a tendency to get a lot of engagement and comment. But how would I know that if I didn't go back through the content that I posted to see what was engaging? So you want to go back and check out your content and see where have I gotten the most likes, comments, and the most engagement. All right. Listen. You want to observe engagement on the content. Are you listening to what your audience is saying that they like from you? Are you listening to what your audience is saying that they like from you? You want to iterate. Improve your content. Once you realize what type of content individuals like, then how do you create better iterations of that content? And then level up. Create the next level of content and start the process again. Targeted, unmissable content. And so let's kind of go through this a little bit deep by going through each one and me sharing a little bit more detailed information around this. All right, let's go back to test. So when you're testing, here are some questions that you want to ask yourself when you're creating unmissable content. First question you want to ask yourself is, do I have the right pain point? What is the pain point of your avatar? You should be the Tylenol to the headache that your client or customer has. What is that pain point? This is going to help you to create the type of content that you need to create that connects with your particular audience. Question number 2 that you want to ask when you're creating or when you're testing out your content is, how can I create or publish the content in a novel way? How can you create or publish this content in a novel way? So for me, creating the content in a novel way is like live streaming. I enjoy creating video because what it does for me is that I can create one piece of content, but yet generate multiple types of content from one really good video or live stream. So you have to choose and understand, okay, what's the best way for you to create and publish content? And then number 3, how can I include my personal experiences in the creation of the content in order to make it brandable? So what's your story? What's your message? And for me, the reason why I love personal branding, I talk about personal branding and maximizing your brand, is because I was laid off my job in 2014 and I had to learn and figure out how to properly market and brand myself as a speaker so that I could get speaking engagements and start getting clients, because I had made the conscious decision that I wanted to be my own boss and I did not want to go back to a traditional 9-to-5. And so I had to learn how to maximize my brand. I had to learn how to properly brand myself. I had to learn how to get speaking engagements and coaching clients if I was going to make this business successful. And here I am, what's that, 8 years, almost 9 years later, still going. So part of my story is being laid off my job and having the desire to become an entrepreneur, but not really knowing how do I really develop my brand. So in the test part of creating targeted, unmissable content, answer those 3 questions. Do I have the right pain point? What's the pain point of your avatar, your customer, your client? How can I create consistent content in a novel way? And number 3, how can I include my personal experience? What's your story? Do you know your story? What's your message? Take people on the experience and on the journey with you. Now, he does say that the number one question that you definitely want to answer if you're going to create unmissable content is really knowing what the pain points are of your avatar. What keeps people up at night? What keeps your client up at night? What are they constantly always thinking about? What is it that they ultimately desire? I know that my client has a desire to have more freedom in their life, to do the things that they truly love. I know that my client wants to make greater impact in the world. They are career professionals, but they want to transition from the traditional 9-to-5 into doing what they believe is their purpose work for greater fulfillment. So you have to know that part. So that's the test. Listen. Let's dig a little bit deeper with listen. So when we talk about listening, we want to make sure that individuals are sharing with you what it is that they want from you. So it's one thing to look at the analytics of your content, which you can if you have created a business account on social media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. I don't think I have a TikTok business account, but I did create a business account in Instagram and a business account in Facebook so that I can see my analytics. So I know the breakdown of how many women follow me. I know the breakdown of how many men follow me. I know the breakdown of how often, what content was engaged with the most, what video was watched the most, what video short has the most views. I have a video short, I think it was the very first video short that I did on Facebook, just introducing myself and sharing about me, age, type of work I do, and so I began to really fully understand that people really engage with content where you give them behind the scenes, a little bit more information about you, personal information, sharing, kind of your lifestyle hacks and things like that. So I began to learn that people like that content. And you can see the number of views. And then I can go back and look at the analytics and the breakdown. Even with my podcast, I can go and look at the analytics and see what cities are downloading the podcast the most. So that if I decide to do some type of tour, I want to go to the cities where people are listening and downloading the podcast. So it's one thing to know your analytics, but it's another thing to listen to what people are saying. What are they asking you to create? What questions are they asking you as it pertains to your content? That's where you want to hone in. You want to hone in on what are people asking me? What content are they engaging with? So you want to pay attention. You want to listen. Are they asking questions you can answer from your own personal experience? Are they asking you questions that you can answer from your own personal experience? This is where the listening comes in when it comes to creating unmissable content or content that converts. And I'm still learning this, that, I create a lot of content, but I do need to pay more attention to studying, okay, what content is really being engaged with the most. I was reading an email today and it was asking the questions, are photos and pictures coming back on Instagram? Are people now engaging more with photos and pictures than they are with video on Instagram? Well, the only way to find out is to look and see. Are people engaging more with your pictures, or are they engaging more with your video? Are they commenting and asking questions based on what you're sharing? Even TikTok started out with video shorts, but now they're expanding and giving you up to, I think, 10 minutes where you can shoot a video. So that's the listening part. All right, let's talk about iteration. So this is key, because once you identify the content that people are engaging with, the content that people are commenting and asking questions, now you want to make more of that type or style of content, but you want to make it better, right? So this is where you can get creative and innovative around the type of content that you create. You looked at the data, you see the feedback. People may be asking you to share more about your personal experience, including maybe lifestyle, family, whatever you're most comfortable with. But don't forget those questions. What's the pain point? How can you increase your content production? And what experiences are you wanting to share? You want to make sure that you are always creating content around those questions. When you're iterating, when you're creating more content, or you're being more creative, when you're being more innovative, you're iterating that content to hone in more, to provide the value that people are seeking you out for. And last but not least, of the TUC strategy, you want to level up. And that just simply means make better content. Once you realize you have a piece of content that's truly targeted and unmissable, level up. Build on what you already know that people are engaging with. Build on it. Create more. The reason why I love live stream, people engage with the live stream. And here's what I like about live streaming. It lives on. So you want to pack as much value in that live stream, in that video, and then have a call to action where you want people to do who watch the video in its entirety. But you can level up from that one video, and you can create up to 3 to 5 to 6. You can create multiple types of content from one video. So here are some ways to level up that he shared. So for example, let's say you have original video. You can create an Instagram story. You can create a story or short from that video. Then you can have it transcribed to create a blog post or a description for that post. Or you can create some type of picture still with audio on top of it. Or it could be your podcast. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to leveling up. Leveling up your content. The TUC method. Targeted, unmissable content. Targeted, unmissable content. You want to test, you want to listen, you want to iterate, and you want to level up. Test, listen, iterate, and level up. That's our live for today. Just want to pop in and share with you, how do you create content that converts, that has people to engage and click your link and go to your DM to follow up with what you were sharing, while at the same time you are leveling up your voice online as well. You're being seen as an influencer. I used to have a slight little challenge when people would consider me to be an influencer based on my consistency. And I would always, say to them, I'm not an influencer. I just enjoy sharing and teaching, and many opportunities have come from it. But then I had to embrace it because not many people have the comfort in doing what it is that I do, showing up online. I received a great compliment over the weekend. I was at a friend's birthday party, and a young lady pulled me aside and she said, one of the things I can really appreciate about you, Marquis, is that you're consistent, that you're always creating and sharing value and sharing your brand and building your business consistently, that you're always showing up. And here's the thing, that if you're going to win in this content creation space, if you're going to create a personal brand business as an influencer, as a thought leader, as a speaker, as someone who is leveraging their expertise, the way to win is to be consistent. The way to win is to always show up for yourself, for your brand, for your business. The way to win is always be in front of people so that people know what it is that you have to offer. That's the way to win. Stop getting in your own way and not showing up for yourself. Stop getting in your own way by not creating the content, by saying to yourself, you're not ready. The only way you get ready is you got to start producing. You got to start creating. The more you create, the better you become. It's like riding a bike, right? When I first learned how to ride a bike, I would fall every once in a while, but the more I was willing to get up and get back on the bike, the better I become riding the bike. When I was a child, we lived in an apartment, and our apartment was right behind the community pool. And I didn't really know how to swim, but I got tired of seeing all of my peers going to the swimming pool, swimming, and I was standing on the outside of the gate. So the way that I learned how to swim was I had to jump in, and I learned how to doggy paddle. I had to jump in, then learn how to tread water. I had to jump in, and the more that I jumped in, the better I became a swimmer, ultimately becoming a lifeguard when I was in college. So if you want to win this journey, if you want to win as a content creator, if you want to win as a thought leader, someone who is creating content to provide value in the information age, educational space, I like to call it edutainment, just show up consistently. So many opportunities have come my way just because I've been willing to show up consistently, whether they be live streamed through my podcast, speaking engagements. And honestly, I could do much better. Throughout the pandemic, I kind of got a little lazy and not getting out as much as I used to, and networking and going to conferences. And so I got to get back into the swing of things and doing those things. But what I know for sure is the more that I do it, the more consistent I show up, the more networking I do, the more I'm in front of people, the more opportunities that come my way because I'm willing to provide value and to help people. So hopefully you got some value out of today's live as we talked about the topic of how to create content that converts and strengthen your online voice. I do have a free gift for you if you're interested. All you have to do is go text Maximize to 1-877-640-5632 and grab that free brand checklist PDF called the Stand Out and Build a Profitable Personal Brand. Shift your brand checklist. Once again, text Maximize to 1-877-640-5632. Also have coaching opportunities. You'll see the link right there in today's post to have some space available if you're interested in getting coaching. I'm offering an unlimited coaching package right now. And I do have some openings. So if you're interested, click the link for laser coaching right there in the post. I welcome you as a client. Well, once again, I am Markeith Braden, your speaker, personal brand strategist, and the host of the Maximize Your Brand podcast, as well as the Empower Show. Hopefully you got some value out of today's live, because I'm always wanting to just share with you opportunity and content that I believe will be helpful for you to leverage your personal brand, leverage your expertise online to create the life that you crave. Well, until next time, just remember this: always shoot for the top, because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. Take care.